Hey folks, it's Troy, and I realize we haven't done many videos here lately, but if you saw my last video, which was just a quick update on how things are going, then you'll understand why. As a matter of fact, today being the second day of January in the new year, my boys are in the other room, and I've had to admonish them, be quiet. Don't leave this room. Don't make noise. Because they tend to be rather loud. So I'm trying to squeak in some time now that I've clocked out of work for the day, and wanted to go over a few things with you. Wanted to cover some of the recent additions that I've had to my collection, both with pens and with pen accessories for you, and wanted to just share a couple of things to give you ideas for your collection. Coming up later on this year, the company now known as Esterbrooks, and they're not the original company of the venerable Esterbrooks like these Esterbrooks J's. These were excellent, very popular, plentiful fountain pens. I've not had good luck with modern Esterbrooks. Essentially, this company just bought the name and manufactured some garbage and marketed it as Esterbrooks. I got suckered into buying one. I paid $65 for a collectible pen, and it sucked. I'm still not happy with it. I've played with it. I've swapped out the nib, and the feed, and I'm still having problems with it. Not at all impressed. So they are putting out now little ads saying that coming this year, now in 2018, they will have an identical replica of the Esterbrooks J. We'll find out. Unless they've got a lever and they've they've got a bag in the inside with a sack and a nib that can be removed, and a nice little modular nib where you unscrew and screw them in. It's not going to be an exact replica, so we'll see how truthful it is. But why did I bring this out? Well, I just recently got this particular pen. So this Esterbrooks is another new addition. This is like the third black Esterbrooks J that I've purchased, and I've given some to family. I've changed out a lot of ink sacks, so I changed out this one, gave it a brand new sack, and wasn't real happy with the nib that it had. It had a very fine nib to it, and so I broke down and I ordered a broad nib for it, which is more like a medium, really, in how it writes. But I'm fairly happy with how this particular Esterbrooks J now writes, and I have it inked and I use it quite a bit. Along with that, one of the things that I've been very happy with and I've kept on my desk for quite some time is an Esterbrooks, you got the old classic 8-ball desk set. Well, I ordered an Esterbrooks desk pen just for fun, just because I could and it wasn't real expensive. So it's pretty much identical to the one that I use now, with the exception it's got that clear plastic. So I have not tried this out yet. I have replaced the ink sac in it because it needed it, so we'll see how that works. Essentially what I'm going to do, I'm going to put that back on my desk. The next time that runs out of ink, and I've refilled that, I can't tell you how many times I've refilled that because it sits on my desk at all times. What I'll probably do is put that one up for a while and try to write with this one and see how it does. So I haven't even inked it since I replaced the sack in it. So that's those are my new Esterbrooks. One of the things I purchased and finally arrived is something that I did for by request. I reviewed a couple of pens so far and will coming up by request. Someone asked me to review a Baoer 51, so that has come in, and that's what a Baoer looks like for the nib. So look for a full review on this one coming up in the near future. So I realize a Baoer is not a high-end pen, but there are some Baoers that actually write nicely that I'll put up against some $100 pens. This one, is it? Is it not? I'll let you know. Also by request, I was asked to review this, which is a Jinhao 15. Now, I'd not had a 15 in my collection previously, but someone had requested I review it, so I went ahead and bought one, and it showed up. Here's what I will give you, sneak preview. I changed the nib. you'll see right there I've got a bent nib, or a Fude style nib. If that tells you anything about what I thought about the nib that came with it. One of the problems, I ordered a medium nib, they sent me a fine nib. And I wasn't going to, wait for one to come all the way from China for me to even consider looking at it, playing with it. And quite honestly, somebody who is a pen pal of mine, another reviewer you'll see here on YouTube, Chris Rapp, had sent me a number 5 Fude style nib and suggested I play with it. And I've had it for several months and I haven't done anything with it until now, because I didn't like that nib and I said, hey, what have I got to lose? Let's go ahead and play with it. Let's see, what else was added to my collection here? Waterman. Being the Waterman aficionado that I am, I ordered yet another Waterman CF just because I put in a low ball bid on eBay and I got it. So this really nice looking pen pencil set. It has someone's name on it. Okay, that doesn't bother me so much. But it's black and gold, nice elegant looking set. One of the things about these, however, and if you're going to look at Waterman CFs, there are cartridges and converters out there available. These pens are from like the 1960s, and they're just not plentiful as far as cartridges and converters. I had bookmarked on my computer one seller that was selling Waterman CF converters, and it's going to be like the classic aerometric style that would go into a CF pen. And I wish I had ordered it because they were selling them for about $12 a piece. And I just hemmed and hawed. I said, someday. And I've now got 4 Waterman CF pens of my own. And I'd given one to a friend of mine who's reviewed it since on his YouTube channel. So he's had that for a while. So I've got 4 now in my collection, and I don't have a single converter for them. Well, I finally said, all right, let me go order the converter. They don't have them in stock anymore. They're not carrying the CF converter anymore. I'm like, really? All right. So instead of $12, I start looking around, and I'm seeing sellers $25, $35, $40. So instead, I found a seller in France that is selling the cartridges. What I'm willing to do is to pierce an old cartridge, flush out all that ink, and fill it with an ink of my choosing, which actually, quite literally, I have done with the 3 that I've already got, and I used up all the cartridges that I had left, because the one cartridge that that would have been, other than that, I put in that other pen and sent it to a friend of mine for him to have. So I'm waiting for a box of old CF cartridges to show up so I can pierce them, flush them, and start putting them into that pen, and then I'll have some left over for any more that I might choose to get. Why do I have 4 of them? Well, first, they're fairly inexpensive and they're very nice writing pens. I like the brand, I like the CF, it's a great pen. I've got one in blue, one in black, and one in orange, and one in red now. So, cool, why not? Let's see, speaking of Waterman, got another one in the mail here, and the eBay listing that someone was selling this for, they didn't give any details. There's no markings on it whatsoever that tell me what variety of Waterman it is. I have searched online with several websites looking for identification as to what model this is. I would guess that this one is probably from the 80s forward, but I cannot find anything about this particular pen anywhere online, except it is metal. It's not like the Jif pens that are all plastic that I've got. I don't know yet, and I haven't inked it up yet, but I've got it. I'll play with it, and so I got another Waterman in my collection. Hopefully someday I'll identify exactly which model it is. Speaking of Waterman, I've also got a Waterman Graduate on order. That was an interesting experience. Now, here's the thing. For the Waterman Graduate, I won that at an auction site from an Italian website, Italian distributor, and I won the pen at only 10 euros. I thought that was pretty cool. The downside, number one, I got to wait to get it shipped here. So I'm still waiting for it to come overseas to get to me. In addition to that, something I will not do again is buy this way. Unless, because now that I know how much they're going to charge me for shipping, that I feel confident that it's a good bargain. When I win a pen for just 10 euros, and you will not tell me how much shipping is going to be to the United States until after I've already committed to buy, and come to find out, you buy it for 10 euros, shipping's 20 euros. A total of 30 euros to get this pen to me. Now, that being said, the pen is still worth probably at 30 euros. So it's not like I'm getting ripped off, but I felt ripped off, because when you pay twice as much as shipping as you do for the pen itself, and you don't know what shipping's going to be until it's time to get the stupid pen and check out, I was not happy. So I might not do that again. I don't know if I'll use that seller ever again. Don't know. Oh, let's see, what else did I get? A Parker. I got a new Parker pen that I've been wanting, was searching for, and I found the Parker Urban, which is not a high-end pen. It's one of their fairly low-end pens. I've seen a couple of these for sale, but this particular one I kind of like. It's sharp-looking, it's simple yet elegant, and it comes down, gets skinny here, fattens out, and then really bulbs out right here. So, I kind of like that. So, for the Parker Urban and some of these other pens that I showed you that I got, full reviews will be coming. So just keep that in mind. One other recent purchase, and I actually had started to do a review on this particular pen, is this. Now, I've used Thornton's ink cartridges for a while. I found Thornton's, which is online. They're on eBay, and you can find their stuff relatively inexpensive. I had purchased a set of these. These are disposable pens. I'll be honest with you. When I first started to write with them, I really liked it. Now, Pilot Varsity is a fairly well-known disposable fountain pen for $3 to $4, depending upon where you get it. I checked this out, and I ordered these. First time I ordered them, 12 bucks. 12 pens. Okay, cool. So I got them, and I wrote with them, and you know what? I was impressed. And I liked it so much, I started to do a nice review of them. And then, what I did was I took, one of each out of here and started to write. Every one of them wrote nice, really smooth. But also, after a little while, though, it would stop writing. Start all over, got it to start finally, and then it would die again. Well, before I had even done that, the first time I had gotten them, before I found out that they kept dying on me, I went ahead and ordered another pack. I was like, what the heck, I'll give these away. And then when I went to go back and ordered them, instead of $12, they were $3 cheaper. So $9 for 12 of them. Cool. Ordered another set. So I got 2 sets of these. But then, it was after that that I discovered that they would skip and they die on me. They write really, really smooth. When they write great. I like it, and I like the way it fits in the hand better, and how it writes better than the Pilot Varsity. Except these skip and die on me, whereas the Pilot Varsity does not. So, if I can overcome that stopping, then nice disposables to carry with you somewhere where you don't care if you give it away, someone borrows it, you never get it back, or you want to give away, or stuff like that. That's my train of thought, But then it kept skipping and dying. Oh well. Okay. Gifting advice. And advice for you if you shop online for stuff. I shop Amazon, I shop eBay, different places like that. One of the things that I do from time to time is I will look and scout out things, something like this. If you look up here, right where my finger is waving, I've got ink samples. A lot of people buy ink samples. They come in little vials like this, and anywhere between 99 cents and $2 or so, depending upon from where you get it. They'll have different amount of ink in it, depending upon where you get it, and different varieties of ink, depending upon from whom you buy. Well, they also sell these on some of these pen vendor websites. All this is just a test tube rack, a cheap test tube rack. So I found a cheaper variety of the exact same thing as these ones up here, and put it on Amazon. I had it on my wish list. So that was a Christmas gift that was given to me so that I can put more ink samples, because I tell you, I went on an ink sample buying spree until by the time I went to go check out, those ink samples jumped from 88 and 99 cents to $1.50 and $1.50, and I just wiped them out of my shopping cart and said, nope, not going to do that. One of the things that I do is, if I get a recommendation from somebody, and I'm following online on some of these different forums, Facebook groups on fountain pens, somebody has suggested, instead of buying, you know, vials like this, because you can buy a bunch of vials, and I give away a lot of ink samples to other people, whether they're from my bottles or maybe for an ink sample that I'm not done with but someone can have. But often I'll fill these up with out of my bottles and I'll give away ink. Well, somebody has just suggested these right here would be a good substitute for these. So I went ahead and I put it on my Amazon wish list. And they weren't real expensive. You know, using them for giveaway, it might work. But look, here's the difference. Alright, this is a dinky little thing that's a bag full of them, and this is the size that are typically used by either Goulet or Anderson or maybe some others. Here's the thing. I use these. This fits in here very nicely. This, on the other hand, no, way too small. It's just not going to cut it. Now, here's the other thing that I found with these. This, you got to pull off, twist and pull, and there's no screw to it. It's just a friction fit cap. Although it fits tightly, I'm hoping that's going to be liquid tight, or, you know, a watertight seal. I've got these. I'm definitely not going to fill them or put anything into these with these. So for anything I want to keep in a vial, I got these. But if I want to give someone some ink, and that's initially what I wanted these for, this bag, it was just on my wish list. Okay, cool. So maybe that'll work. So I got a bunch of those. Another thing about keeping an Amazon wish list. When you purchase something, if you don't buy it on Amazon, take it off your wish list. Let me explain to you why. Alright, quick tangent. My wife wanted a smaller pen case because she was carrying like a buttload of back-breaking load full of pens with her in her pocketbook. So I got her, you know, a thing like this. And in it are 4 of her regular use pens. 2 of these she's already had, one of which I gave her for our anniversary, which was in October. One of which I gave her when she really fell in love with my TWSBI Eco. So she got that. For Christmas, I gave her this, and she was all excited and borderline orgasmic over this Monteverde. And so she tended to like it. Probably a full review may be coming up of that particular pen. Now, this one I thought was the one she'd get excited over. Just looking at that logo right there, nah, not so much. Okay, I would have been excited over it. That's just me. Well, this is a vintage Montblanc 221. And it's a very nice, slick, smooth fountain pen. Watch for a full review of this, eventually to come up. This is actually a cartridge converter pen. When I bought it from somebody who was selling this pen, they did include a cartridge. So I've put the cartridge in that particular pen, and that's what's in there right now. What I did was I was searching for a converter. These converters were available on Amazon. Put it in my wish list. Turn around, I ended up buying it off from eBay because I found it a little cheaper. Okay, fine. So I buy one off from eBay. Forgot to take it off my wish list, so guess what my wife bought me for Christmas? She bought me a Montblanc converter. Little did she realize that was to go in the very pen that I had purchased her for Christmas. So now we have two. So now I got a spare. Something else about your eBay wish list that I was just saying. When you buy something, delete it off of your wish list. I was going through Northern Tool and Equipment one day, and I was looking for something in particular. Could not find something for which I was looking. I picked up for 10 bucks one of these. This is a caliper, and it'll give you measurements in millimeters or down to a 64th of an inch, which is really handy when you're looking at pens and you want to find out how wide they are, how long they are, taking measurements, especially if you're doing ink sacks and you want to know what kind of ink sac, what size sac to put on an old pen. I actually have one that has a dial on it that I've got in my bullet reload kit, which is in another room, and so I wanted one to keep with all my pen supplies. So I picked this up, and they had a real cheap one, you know, a little slide rule style for $1. This was like 10 bucks. Guess what? Wish list. It was on my Amazon wish list. So I got a nice, little more expensive one now. A nicer one than the $10 one that I bought at Northern Tool and Equipment. So now I've got this one. So, you know, I started the month of December with none, ended the month of December with 3 for my pen supplies. That doesn't include the one that I bought years ago for my bullet reload setup. So I'm calipered up now. Oh, let's see, what else? Storage drawers. If you look behind me here, you'll see there's a bunch of storage drawers. I'm going to throw up some pictures here. I literally was slammed out of space. I literally had to take a pen out, and I'm talking jamming these pens into the drawers. I try to keep them organized. I try to label them as to what brand they are in what particular drawer. And I was literally running out of space and I had brands mixed together because I had some brands that didn't fill the whole thing, and I have some trickle over. I may have some brands that I only have 1 or 2 of that particular brand. I have others where it takes up multiple drawers and cramming them full. And it literally got to the point where I had no room to put any more pens. So for Christmas, my mother-in-law did real good. She got me another set of drawers. Now, I had one set of drawers already that had 4, and those were shallow drawers, but it fit more pens. The downside is oversized pens that are girthier could not fit. The drawer was too shallow for a fat pen to fit. So I was having to store stuff in cigar boxes until I found another storage situation. Well, the one she got me had 3 drawers to it, the bottom drawer being deeper. So now all my oversized pens, like the Monteverde Giant Sequoia, the Montblanc 149, Delta Dolce Vita, stuff like that, they now fit into that drawer, along with that crappy Esterbrooks I told you about. So those were too big to fit into the narrow drawers. So, but I've been able now to organize them better. Here's a few shots of, you know, how I've got them laid out. So now I'm thinking about getting yet a 3rd for future expansion, and so that I can break these out even more than I've got them already. And even though there's only 1 or 2 of a particular brand, they can have their own little section in a drawer. So hopefully, from everything that I've said and babbled on about, you've got some ideas for additions to your collection, whether it be some of the pens that I've gotten, some supplies, some storage ideas, that kind of thing, and also some things to keep in mind when you're shopping for yourself and when you're dealing with wish lists and when you're looking at other people looking for stuff to buy for you. Anyway, I got more reviews that are up and coming. I've got several that were requested. I've got pens that I bought that are going to be up for review. I've still got Matthew's pen haul from right around Christmas that we got to put up, and got a lot. Oh, the other thing is I'm trying something new with video. I'm trying a couple of different things. I bought some new video software, made the investment into that. One of the things that made that happen was quite honestly, a couple of things that I purchased with my latest Google Ads revenue that came in from people like you watching this channel. I got a new webcam, which is going to be much better if we do some web streaming, if we do any live videos, that sort of thing. So I've got that, and maybe even just take a few stills, but also with the same old camcorder that I've got that does tape in, or film in HD. This software will handle HD video much better than my old software did, and will render in HD video, so we'll see how well that works out. Been doing a lot of testing here lately, trying to get things right, so we'll see how it goes, trying to make some improvements. So thanks for watching, love you all. I appreciate you guys watching, I really do. It's humbling to think that you guys would sit down and watch somebody like me, some schmo, babble on about his fountain pen hobby, so I appreciate it.